Hello everybody, this is Wild Rider coming to you live, or not live, recorded from Wyoming, Michigan. I'll give you a little bit of background on me. I've been riding since I've been 14 years old. My parents will say otherwise, but what they don't know, well, it's coming out in this video. That's if they even watch it. They're not big on watching YouTube videos or anything like that, considering I'm 43 years old, so you'll know what generation I'm talking about. But I digress. So I'm 43 years old. I've been riding since I've been 14. My current bike is a 2008 Yamaha V-Star 1100 Classic. Now, this bike does have some issues, but I've managed to be able to be one of the lucky ones which doesn't have the issues with the bike like what some other people do. It usually comes down to the starter solenoid not working properly. So, yeah. But I like the bike. It does what I need it to do. I prefer something smaller for a commuter bike, because I got this bike because I was going to be riding on the highway a lot several years back. So the only time I've ridden it on the highway this year is maybe on a few trips, in which short trips in which I've done, or just because I've gotten lazy and just don't want to end up taking the long way about due to my multiple failed attempts at trying to motovlog. This is probably going to be the first one that actually turns out the way it's supposed to. So here's hoping. So right now I'm just on my lunch break. The company I work for, I work from home, which is real nice, since the position I'm in is considered to be, I guess you would say, I watch IT staff and review their tickets and see exactly what they can do to improve upon them. So my official title, which I've recently changed it, instead of being a queue master, which is, yeah, is an IT quality management specialist. This position allows me to be able to train other technicians, talk with them in regards to the tickets that they're doing and why it's not correct, and how they can do to improve upon it and the standards set. In fact, it's a week before the training session, which I have to give out worldwide, so motovlogging is actually something that's going to help me out with this and talking to people and such. I mean, yeah, there'll be multiple randoms, but random thoughts that pop up into my head, but it'll be what it is. I can manage to stay on task, even though I have ADHD. Been diagnosed, taking meds for it. Funny thing about those meds is that they make me tired. In fact, they put me into a dizzy spell from time to time. So I take half of one. Oh my god, they tore it down. Damn. There used to be a great barbecue place over there, Lion's Mane. I know it's been out of business, but I had hoped someone was going to be able to take over the business, create another barbecue place. But I guess we now know why. Probably going to put a house there or something, but whatever. Alright, so yeah, I having high anxiety, higher than most people out, and depression. I can end up having severe depression from time to time. But the nice thing is that I don't come up with suicidal thoughts, so that keeps me sane. And riding a motorcycle helps me out a lot because it allows me to go through my thoughts allows me to be able to come up with solutions to my problems. Just getting on the bike, get away from the environment that I'm in, and just go ride. And from my understanding, it actually helps out with a lot of other people as well. They end up doing driving their cars, get in the car and drive. I mean, one time I found myself all the way over in Michigan City. And if you know where that's at, you know that's over in Indiana. Yeah. That's quite a bit of a ways. Another time I found myself in Brooklyn, Michigan, where Michigan International Speedway is located at. So, yeah. Typically I try to keep those type of long ass trips that I do over in on the weekends, a Saturday or a Sunday, depending on how things go. Summertime's allowed me to be able to ride more. It's Michigan. You probably get about very few times in which you can ride. Here in Minnesota, it's even worse. In the UP, you get the summertime and that's about it. And my wife works down here. One of the insurance buildings there. She's an accountant. I refer to her as the accountant in various other vlogs, but I do happen to have a website in which I keep that inside the link here over on YouTube. So please go to it, subscribe, like if you like the videos. This is actually my first attempt at motovlogging, so I hope it turns out real well. Today's topic is going to be dressing for the ride, not for the slide. Yes, I am saying that incorrectly. And you want to know why? It's hot. And if you're very mindful about how you're driving and watch traffic and don't follow too closely, you can actually dress for the ride and not so much for the slide. And that's what I'm currently doing right now. I'm in shorts, I'm in shoes, not so much tennis shoes, but shoes that protect my ankles to a point, not boots. Jean shorts, mind you. And I'm wearing a t-shirt with the Batman logo on there. Many of say I should be wearing a motorcycle jacket. I should be dressing better. I should help out my viewers on how proper etiquette and such. Well, I'll tell you the truth, I've been seeing a lot of people driving around on motorcycles wearing shorts. I've seen it, which they wear tank tops as well. And to be quite honest, I don't really have a good pair of boots in which I would wear. Ones in which would need to be narrow. And I have a size 10.5 wide width. And local stores have a hard time even trying to keep stuff like that in stock. In fact, some of the times I don't even order it, which ticks me off because there's certain brands of which I like that work for me, and I can't have that. Alright, here we are at my first stop. So, let's see, where was I? Oh yeah, dress apparel. I've seen guys dress up to avoid motorcycle accidents and leather and such, and they end up getting injured. So, I mean, if you're gonna skid, that's one thing. Fall underneath your bike, fine. I mean, yes, I understand the need for Under Armour, proper apparel, that type of thing, but if you're watchful and pay attention to the morons that are around you in the cages, you won't have a problem. Like, I anticipate people pulling out in front of me. I've had it happen way too much. Or not pay attention to anything around them. And come close to hitting me. The other day I had this woman pull out while I was testing the mic finally. And it was just a ride for doing a comic book run. And they pull out of the McDonald's. They don't look at all the traffic that's coming around. Pulled right out in front of me. Luckily, I anticipated for it. And I had enough sense in order to back off on my speed and such. But I also wailed on my horn to let them know that, hey, I saw what you did. And I recorded it. See, one of the things is that I start getting interested into this is because I wanted to start motovlogging. Now, I was looking around for cheap cameras. Now, probably about a few months back, my wife and I were supposed to go to this trip out to Switzerland. But with COVID happening and such, that was failed. Now, it was a company paid for trip because they didn't want to pay for her. She ended up working a bunch of extra hours, and they were kind enough in order to give her the trip. Never been to Switzerland. So we got passports and stuff like that. And then when the trip was canceled, they decided to use the money that was for that for free things. So out of it, we were able to get a bunch of things in which were needed around the house, and then a couple of things in which not so much needed around the house, but something to take care of some of the things in which we were going after. For me, one of the things was the GoPro. So we were able to get the GoPro. No problem. And I figured, great, because I was going to spend about 60 bucks on a cheap camera. So that way I could do my vlogs. Get the same setup that I had. In fact, the camera was even supposed to come with like 20 pieces or so. GoPro didn't come with anything, but I had a camera already, which I used for insurance purposes on the front end of my bike. Because a buddy of mine ended up getting injured inside a motorcycle accident, hit incoming from a woman that was turning left. He was turning left, but she was coming in perpendicular for him and wasn't paying attention and hit him, totaling his bike and causing him to break his foot. In fact, he has that video up. In fact, I've been meaning to link it as a case of why you want to have a camera. I also run across some other motovloggers too that lost their motorcycles and they've gotten injured because of careless people inside their cars. So you'd figure that would fortify me for wanting to have proper apparel. Well, you are correct, but I try not to speed on my motorcycle. I try to pay attention to everything in every single scenario. Doing so, preparing for the scenarios, allows me to be able to ride with my shorts on and my t-shirt on. Now, if I go for long rides, I wear pants. One, keeps the bugs off of my legs, doesn't burn my legs. Wear a vest and a jacket. Jacket's mostly to keep me from getting sunburned. The vest helps cut back on the wind when I'm on the highway or doing speeds above 55. And I get too comfortable when I'm out on doing long drives like that. So I take certain precautions. I mean, do I have boots? No, because I can't seem to find a pair of boots that are good. I mean, I like steel-toed boots, but then I have to change everything about riding my bike. And since I do more of local commuting than I do the highway drives, except for on the weekends, I just wear the same pair as the shoes. And the shoes do me just fine, so it doesn't really matter as far as I'm concerned. Now, if I was going to do another long haul, like what I did for like a 4-hour ride, then yeah, I would wear the proper gear and stuff, just so that way, just in case. In fact, on those rides, I wore my leather jacket, gloves, impact rated gloves, that is, which I still got to sew back up because they are damaged. They came apart from the seams, so I need to sew them back up. But yeah, I dress up for long drives like that, but for the short drives, not so much. Now, if you look at the statistics, they'll say, yeah, well, most accidents usually happen within 5 miles of being home. And it's like, yes, I've seen those statistics. But I'm also not driving. I'm driving within that 5 miles. I watch out for people. That's my preference. Get off my back. Just like I wear a helmet. I wear a helmet. Now, if you know anything about Michigan, helmets are optional. I wear it. I wear it not just because it's law, it's just because I flipped over my bike doing 5 miles an hour and I could have had severe head injury had I not had my helmet. So I wear my helmet. So that's pretty much my preference on that. And yes, it's a controversial subject. I mean, I gotta change my gear out anyways, but it's gonna cost me several $100s, and right now I just can't afford it. Or my wife won't let, the accountant won't let me afford it. So that's where I am on that. Just like I gotta get tires for my bike. That I'm gonna do against her wishes, so. So that's my opinion on it. I mean, everyone's got their own opinions on things, and that's fine. I'm not going to argue my point, try to convince you otherwise. Yeah, so it's an argument which I'm not going to get. So that's where I stand at it. And if you follow my videos and stuff, my future videos, you're going to see and you're going to know the reason why. Agree or agree to disagree. It's my preference. How I want to ride. Now, if I end up getting severely injured because of my preference, I'll probably end up changing it. But it's my preference at the time. Oh well. So if you like my video, go ahead and click that like button. Preferably the like button, not the dislike button. And please go ahead and subscribe. I'm Wild Rider, and thank you for stopping by.